former colleague from IT support in a past job once told me that the first thing he asks when someone calls about a device not functioning, the way it should, is, have you tried turning it off and on again? And apparently in many cases, that reboot alone solves the problem. Hello and welcome back to the Bodyful Minds Podcast. Today I want to talk about the equivalent of this phrase for us as busy, ambitious mums. Because from the outside, it can look like we're about to switch off. Vacation is coming, the school year is wrapping up. There's the sense of just a little longer. But inside, your system is still running at full speed and there's more to do than ever. Or it feels like there's more to do than ever. As many of us are heading toward the end of the school year, things are a lot. There are projects to finish, school events, barbecues, and birthday parties, end-of-year coffees, and drinks, farewells to organize. And at the same time, everyone is exhausted. You notice it in the sibling fights, in the shorter tempers, and the tantrums that seem to come out of nowhere. Even the weather, finally more stable, somehow still doesn't help all that much. Someone is always too hot, too cold, too something. And then there's that light at the end of the tunnel. Vacation. This almost magical idea that somehow those 1 or 2 weeks are going to give you back the energy you've spent over the past 350 days of the year. So the question becomes, is that our version of turning it off and on again? Sometimes, yes. But in my experience, more often than not, it isn't. And here's why. You can't switch off externally if your system hasn't learned to switch states internally. If you go into a vacation on a nervous system that has been in overdrive for months, it doesn't suddenly relax just because your location changes. It's like the button is stuck on. And often, you can even see that in how the vacation gets planned. It's packed, scheduled, optimized, trying to make the most of every moment. And I get it. You've paid the money, right? Only lying on the beach is not my thing either. But there's a big difference between not wanting to do nothing and recreating the same level of pressure you're already living in, just in a different setting. So before we even talk about what to do differently, I think there's a more important question to ask. What state are you arriving in? Because if your system is used to pushing through, staying efficient, responding constantly, holding everything together, then slowing down doesn't come automatically. And it doesn't automatically feel like relief. It sometimes even feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable. Stillness can feel like something is missing, or like you should be doing something, or like you're wasting your time. And that's not because you're bad at relaxing. It's because your system has learned to stay on for a very long time. So if we come back to the question, how does turning off and on again actually work for us? It's not about designing the perfect vacation. It's about reducing the pressure your system is operating under. A few simple ways to support that. First, look at your itinerary. Is it tightly scheduled? Or does it leave space to respond to how you and your kids or your partner actually feel in the moment? Because that alone can reduce a lot of friction. Especially those daily struggles when kids are still in play mode and you're trying to move on to the next thing. Second, think about how you can create space within the vacation. Not just family time, but also solo time and couple time. That might look like one of you doing something with the kids while the other gets some time alone. Or, if it's available, even book a babysitter or a day camp for a few hours. Not because you need to escape your kids, but because your system needs moments where it's not responsible for everyone else. And third, if you've lost track of your body awareness routine, this is actually a really good time to gently come back to it. Not in a big structured way, but in small moments throughout the day. When you're in the shower, notice the warm water on your skin. When the coffee machine is running, take a few slower breaths. When you're walking, feel your feet hitting the ground. Notice the sounds around you. Roll your shoulders while you're writing an email. These are not extra to-dos. They're small points of contact with yourself. And over time, they signal to your nervous system the threat level is decreasing. You can start to soften. And the important part is when you practice this outside of high-stress moments, you can actually access it when things get tense, like when you're about to snap at your child, or when you're packing and suddenly can't find anything you just saw 5 minutes ago. And then something shifts. You don't force yourself to turn off. You actually can turn off. You start to notice moments when you're more present, where you're enjoying things, even if they're not perfect, where you're not constantly managing the next thing. Because turning off isn't something you earn once everything is done. It's something your system has to feel safe enough to do. And if that feels hard right now, it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because you've learned to stay on for a very long time. And your value doesn't come from how much you manage, even on vacation. It comes from the energy and presence you bring to yourself and to your kids and to your job. Maybe you needed this reminder. I know I did. And if this episode resonated, share it with another mum who might need it, especially in this final stretch of the school year or heading into the vacation season. Until next time, more you, less noise.